Record. Ladies and gentlemen, so today we are going to be talking about the Nakshatra of Bharani via our scholar and master of Nakshatras, Dr. Arjun Pai. He's back again and he's going to be taking over and showing us exactly the depth and the beauty of this Nakshatra. So take it over, Doctor.
Thank you very much, Kapil. Today what I'm going to do is, before we get started with the Bharani Nakshatra, I want to share with you what my course participants came across. You know, I have done a series now on my YouTube channel about moon transit awareness. So every day you try to kind of connect with these nakshatras.
Yeah.
And today was the last of the first series. Today was Revati Nakshatra, and today was a full moon. Today is a full moon. And I've completed that series. Tomorrow, I'm going to start another series, which you can use it in daily life to be very, very actively able to connect with them. And to, it is called more of visualization, meditation, mantras, all these techniques. I'm going to start posting them on my YouTube channel. And using the same methods or using certain things that I've been training my course participants, this is something which is very fascinating. Let me share my screen and show you what I wanted to talk about. This is very, very, very fascinating and could interest your viewers. Let me share my screen.
So it's your YouTube channel, Dr. Arjun Pai.
Yeah, Dr. Arjun Pai. Okay. Can you see this?
Yeah, Maga.
Yeah, now look at this. This is very, very, very interesting. Look at, this is Donald Trump's chart. And look at us, he has two prominent planets, which is ascendant and his Mars in Magha Nakshatra. Now look at his, you know, he's been promoting using this on his Twitter. It's called MAGA, okay? Make America Great Again.
Oh, man.
So one of my course participants, he posted this yesterday, and I was like astonished. You know, look at the connection. Look how quickly these people are able to now train their mind. What I call these techniques that they have been doing. You know, these daily awareness, moon transit awareness things. They've also been doing, you know, these mind mapping techniques, because I give them energy flashcards during my coursework. So once you become highly aware, you can see that how you can connect. So basically what he has done, look at this, it's a line, you know, its symbol is a line. Again, he is either he knows that he's doing this, or maybe he doesn't know. But whatever is it, he's activating his Leo, okay, with the lion and with the Magha. So if you see ascendant and Mars is very key for him. Why Mars is key? Because it is a Yoga Karaka planet.
Mm-hmm.
For Leo ascendant, okay, Mars becomes the 4th lord and the 9th lord. So it is creating a very powerful yoga in this chart. Okay.
Yeah, it's a single-handedly a Raj Yoga.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a very powerful yoga, being a Yoga Karaka, and he is trying to activate that house. And Leo is also connected with your government, isn't it?
Yeah.
But hang on, what I also foresee is Rahu is going to transit into Magha on the 10th of December 2016.
Mm-hmm.
So that is when you see Rahu coming in very strongly on his chart. And I largely feel a lot of governments across the world would go through Rahu's influence during, you know, once Rahu transits into Magha Nakshatra. Okay. So basically what I wanted to show you with this is how you can create an awareness and you can see the connection with everything. So this was quite astonishing for me. It's Magha Nakshatra.
I never actually looked at it to make it a short form of Make America Great Again. Magha.
This is his Twitter handle. This is what he's been using, you know, to promoting Make America Great Again. So I don't know whether this was deliberately done, but it looks like somebody has been advising him
Some astrology, you never know, man.
Yeah, because if it is Leo and he's used Maga there, somebody should be telling him this. And my sense is it should be a very strong Bharani Nakshatra person. Why I tell you that is, this is another thing that I've seen. This is the first theme that I want to reveal to all your viewers, is Bharani Nakshatra is ruled by the archetype, the tutelary archetype of Bharani is Yama.
Yeah.
Yama is called as the king of the, or the lord of the ancestors.
Yeah.
It's the lord of the ancestors, correct? And Magha Nakshatra is ruled by the Pitris, which are the ancestors.
Yeah.
So, in a sense, what you see is these Magha natives could be subservient to people in Bharani Nakshatra. So, Bharani, suppose you are into service, if you are a Magha Nakshatra, you could have a boss who could have a very strong Bharani. Because Magha Nakshatras usually, they do not, they are very independent. They cannot take orders because that is a Leonine sign. You know, it's Leo. Leo are the kings.
Mm-hmm.
They are king makers, but they can never serve under anybody. They are kings themselves. But the only nakshatra which I've seen where has some control over the Magha natives is Bharani Nakshatra. Okay, so in a sense, these people can take orders or feel comfortable whenever the orders are coming from a Bharani Nakshatra native. I can see you're smiling, so I think
that's so funny. My wife is a very prominent Bharani Nakshatra in her chart.
Oh, there you are. I know why now. So does that mean to say that you are Magha?
He's the only one who controls me.
So
oh, Dr. Pai, you are like a freaking spy, man.
Yeah, you are under the thumb. You are under the thumb. You know, that's what they say.
Oh, she does. She has me on the index finger.
Okay, so let's get with
all right. Oh my God, my face is like
I can see you put your hair, your hood on. Talking to your wife, I think this scares the.
That's me, right?
Oh my God! So this is a common theme, and if you understand, where I'm coming from, you will know why I said that. You're kind of a subservient.
Yeah.
To Bharani Nakshatra, because you always are thinking that he is. Doesn't mean that they are Yama, but they are always on the righteous path. Bharani Nakshatras is all about. They are on the righteous path always. They follow dharma. They are righteous. That is why he's called as Yama Dharmaraj.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let me just tell you about Yama and how to read this nakshatra. Okay. Now you can see that there are 8 guardians of space. Okay. So this is typically what you see when you do Vastu Shastra. When you see these are the regions which are controlled by different deities, or they are the regions of those quarters.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, Yama is the guardian of the space in the south. Okay, and Kuber is the abode of Kuber is north. Now, if you see very closely and study the system, you will understand that whatever is sitting in the opposite controls the deity in the opposite sign. Okay, so for example, let us look at the direction east. Okay, here. Now, east is ruled by Indra. Okay. Indra is called as the king of the gods. Now, Indra is supposed to be the ruler of rains and fresh water. Okay, now go to the opposite direction. Now, Varuna is actually controlling, or is the opposite force. What you see, who is Varuna? Varuna is called the god of the sea and the salt water.
Okay.
Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Unless, if you want to study Jyotish, always, this is something I tell all my course participants, is always study what is opposite to it. So whenever you study even your Rashis, if you're studying about Aries, always look at it also from see what is the balancing act is doing in Libra. That is why you see Libra is always with a balance.
Yeah.
So these two forces are kind of, showing this sharing of this duties, or showing this oppositeness, polarities. So Indra is rain and fresh water. Varuna is sea and salt water. Now look at Kuber. Kuber is the king of the Yakshas. He's called the king of the Yakshas. Now, who are Yakshas? Yakshas are, they are semi-gods, not even demigods. They're semi-gods who have powers, special powers with them, supernatural powers. And they rule over the treasures of the earth. What is hidden? Okay, the hidden treasures of the earth is what the Yakshas are controlling. And Kuber is the king of them. Okay. Now, Kuber is always related to fertility, prosperity, wealth, okay, and life. And opposite to him is Yama. Yama is the god of death. So you can see there is life, there is death.
Death, yeah.
So similarly, you see on one side you have Vayu, which is air or wind, northwest, and you see southeast is fire. Yeah. So Agni is being balanced by air. Yeah. Okay, fire and air, these elements are being balanced. So this is what I wanted to show you. Let me stop sharing my screen now, and let's go to the discussion. Is you see this association with these two deities happening.
Yeah.
Now, in the southern part of India, this nakshatra, Bharani and Kritika, are supposed to be very inauspicious. So the South Indian priest usually, or the Vedic scholars in South India, they say do not start anything auspicious when Bharani or Kritika nakshatras are operating.
Okay.
Now, what could be the logical reason, or what could be the science behind this? Is if you go to Atharva Veda talks about Kritika nakshatra being the first nakshatra. Okay? Yeah. And Bharani nakshatra being the last nakshatra. That is why you see he is connected with the god of death, Yama, and that is the last nakshatra. Okay? And then there is birth. Kritika is where it is ruled by sun.
Yeah.
Kritika in Vimshotri Dasha system is ruled by sun. So again, soul is being taking rebirth. So what you see here with Bharani and Kritika is this region is becoming, death and rebirth. So whenever these energies are operating, these are called as sandhis. You understand? The concept of sandhi. Sandhi means something which is a joint. So all these joints are supposed to be studied in Jyotish before before you can go and understand more about Jyotish. Joints are very, very important, and they are very, very, if you understand joints, I will explain to you the joints or the sandhi. Now, day turns to night, and that time when the sun sets, that is a sandhi, because from brightness, you are going into darkness. Similarly, from night to day, okay, when the sun rises, that is again a sandhi. That is a sandhya kal, we call it. Similarly, whenever the lunar month changes, the lunar month, I'm talking about the Hindu calendar lunar month, it is not the solar month. Okay, lunar month, whenever they change, again that is a sandhi, because the energies are transferring from one lunar month to the next lunar month. So typically, marriages are avoided during the sandhi period.
Okay.
You get it?
Yes.
Similarly, you see Gandanta. Okay. Gandanta also is.
Wait. So let me ask you. So if somebody is getting married during sunset time, that's not recommended.
That's not recommended.
Okay. All right.
During sunset time or sunrise time, getting married is not what is recommended. Maybe you can have it in the daytime, or you can have it late in the night. Okay. There is also called as, there is a lagna which is called as Godali lagna. Goduli means it's the time when the cows come back in the evening. Okay, the cows usually come back in the evening. It's a Godali lagna. some marriages in the north, they happen in Goduli Lagna, although it is not recommended in our Shastras. Goduli means the cows are left out to go gazing, and the cows return on their own back to their cow shed in the evening. Okay? And Dhuli means dust. So it is a time when the cows are running and coming back to their home. You see a lot of dust coming. So that is why they call it Goduli Lagna.
Okay.
So that Lagna is usually, people say there are marriages which take place, but it is not recommended. Usually, if you see, most of the marriages they happen in Abhijit Lagna, Abhijit Muhurta. Right? So these are, why is this? Atharva Veda talks about Pitrayana Nakshatras and Devayana Nakshatras. So what are Pitrayana Nakshatras? All those Nakshatras from Anuradha to Bharani are called as Pitrayana, the path of the Pitris, the path of the ancestors. And Devayana is from Kritika Nakshatra going up to Vishaka Nakshatra.
Okay.
They are called as Devayana, path of the gods. Okay? So if you understand this concept of Sandhi, similarly, if you see any planet which is just on the verge of moving from one sign or one Rashi to another zodiac sign, they get very specific powers, very powerful.
That's right. Especially the electromagnetic area of the zodiac sign becomes extremely strong.
Extremely strong. Now, if you have a seed, let me just show you.
This is why when people say, "Oh, my planet is sleeping, it's below 1 degree, it's like 0.20 minutes or something," they're like, "Oh, you tell me that's not." I'm like, no, that is the most powerful planet you have in your life.
Yes, absolutely.
It is in the transition of the strongest electromagnetic wave of 2 zodiac signs.
Yeah, and if I want to share my screen and show you again, can you see the chart of Donald Trump?
Yeah.
Now I said Maga Nakshatra. Now look very closely to his sun. Okay. Now look at his sun. It's 29 degrees 51, and it's Atma Karaka.
Yeah.
It's very, very powerful. It's a Lagna, a lot of the Lagna.
Yeah.
Sitting at this fag end, and it is getting a lot of power from Rahu. People say it is eclipsed.
Yeah.
Right? Because Rahu is very close. If you see Rahu here, it's around 27 degrees. But Rahu has already crossed the sun. Remember that.
Exactly.
If it was approaching the sun, then it would have been a different story. But it has already crossed over the sun. But now the sun is extremely powerful. It's a lot of his Lagna. So
what
don't
this
forget,
simply shows in a negative sense, Rahu and Sun, is that he boasts about himself too much without even having any element to him. Absolutely. He owns this building, that building is a billionaire. It'd be like no more than 100 million or 200 million, which is still a lot. It's
So it's about, you see, the sun is giving him arrogance. It's giving him huge ego, bloated ego.
Yeah.
Right? The sun. So, but do not take him to be, weak competitor, because Mars, I said, is a yoga karak. Mars gives him that fighting spirit.
Yeah.
And sun is very strong in his chart. See, I'm not hinting at anything. Whatever happens will happen, during the elections. Many people jump to conclusions. No, we cannot, because there are multiple factors acting in an election. It's not just one individual chart.
Exactly.
It also depends on the chart of the country, the chart of, the people. There is
this is why I don't even dive into.
No, you don't. Yeah, don't look at a single chart and look. It's a collective consciousness. You have to remember. Elections is a collective decision. It's a collective consciousness, and not one individual's chart can decide who is going to be the winner.
Yeah.
You'll be making a fool of yourself. It's a mundane prediction that you would do. Yeah, you could still do. And what are the chances? You could be right 50%, isn't it? You could fail 50%. You could be. And if you say I had predicted it right, it was just toss of a coin.
Exactly.
There are only two candidates. So what is so great about saying that one person is going to win or another person is going to win? And when after the elections you say, oh, look, I had predicted that this was this person. No, what do you have to study? Jyotish is all about looking at the chart and studying what is strong, but not going into predictions. Predictions is something that is not, and because it's a collective thing. If it was an individual and if it is something related to the individual, then you can go further and dissect the chart.
Like if they came for a job at a bank, who will get a job?
Yeah,
Clinton or Donald Trump? That's different.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is different. That is different. Or if it's a business deal where Donald Trump is directly involved, whether the deal would be successful or unsuccessful, because it is about him and it is about the other individuals. So there it makes, you could be right, you could have greater accuracy.
Yeah.
But doing this prediction for elections, I think mundane astrology, I don't think anybody should do that, because, let's move on. I think we'll digress from the topic. But basically what I want to show you is the concept of the Sandhi is very, very important. People have not understood the Sandhi concepts. And if you understand that, then you will understand this nakshatra better. Okay. So, so now look at even when people die in India, okay, the body is placed in a particular direction. Okay. The head of the dead body and the feet of the dead body, the head of the dead body has to be faced towards the north, and the legs of the dead body, the feet of the dead body, is faced towards the south. Okay. Now there's two reasons. One is the mythologically, what we say is Yama is the lord of the south, is a regent of the south. Okay. That is where his loka is, Pitra Loka. It is called as Yamapuri as well. His land is called Yamapuri. And the belief in the Hindu system is once you die, you sit on a boat, okay, and you cross a river called Vaitarini. And the Vaitarini river takes you towards the southern gates of Yamalok. Okay, that is where you disembark. And who is the boatsman who is going to take you on that boat? He is called as Pushyan, the lord of Revati Nakshatra. Okay? Pushyan is supposed to be the boatsman who's going to take you on that boat, the mythical boat where you cross the Vaitarini. Now, why I'm saying that is, then you see, that is why the concept comes, people say, never sleep with your, head towards south. Your head towards, the north, because that is where the dead bodies are kept. Right. Now, scientifically, what you have to understand is there are putrefying gases in the body, and there are putrefying waves which are emanating from a dead body. Because what is a dead body? It has no prana. The prana leaves. And when the prana leaves, there are putrefying gases which are released from the body. And when the body is placed in that direction, the velocity of the emitted waves are naturally attracted towards the south direction. That is the land of Yama. This is the scientific reason. Right? That is why you always say southern direction is connected with Yama, and people in Vastu Shastra, they say south is not a good direction to keep and multiply your money. You always keep it in Kubera's Stan, which is wealth. Okay. Also remember, the body parts which are controlled by Bharani Nakshatra is the head and the bottom of the feet. So whenever you check the energies of, if you have very strong Bharani Nakshatra people, check the energies of that individual during full moon days, which is Purnima Tithi, which is today, and new moon days, which is Amavasya Tithi. Why? Because the energies are either on the head, which is Purnima Tithi, or the energies are at your feet at Amavasya Tithi. Right? So you can see that energies can either go to your head or energies going to your feet. Now, why Bharani Nakshatra is associated with Yama and death? Now, that could be another logical reasoning you can give. Is if you make Bharani Nakshatra as the Lagna or the ascendant, okay, then Bharani Nakshatra, as we know, is ruled by the planet Venus. Yeah. In Vimshottari Dasha system, Venus rules, Bharani Nakshatra. Yeah. And if you make it the Lagna, Venus becomes the lord of the second house and the seventh house. And second house and the seventh are Maraka, death inflicting. Yeah. Do you understand? That is why Bharani Nakshatra is given to Venus and Yama.
Because Venus has the energy of rebirth and death.
Rebirth and death as well. Because if you see Guru Shukracharya, he had the Mrit Sanjeevani Vidya, which is to bring back the dead, to bring back life from people who are dead. So that is that Vidya. Is again, it shows you the association of Venus with. See, again, if you look at astronomically also, Kapil, astronomically, if you understand how Venus operates, then you will understand this thing about death and rebirth. If you look at this, the Venus, now I have to go back and refresh my astronomical understanding. But what I remember is for about 245 or 248 days, okay, Venus is seen in the
above, and then this is below. Yes.
Below. Okay, and for 8 days it just vanishes.
Yeah.
And that is the time when it is combust, because Venus is coming behind the sun. And it's combust for about 8 days. So what you see it is called the morning star for about 248 days, or I don't know the number, you can go and check up on Wikipedia, for a certain period. Then it vanishes, and then it is seen in the as the evening star when the sun sets. So you see that it is as though the Venus has died and it has taken rebirth.
Taken a rebirth, exactly.
So that is why you see a lot of people who have very strong connections with Venus. For example, you look at the Mayan civilization. They are very strong connection with Guru Shukracharya. See, all civilizations that have placed a very strong importance to Venus in comparison to the sun or the moon find their roots in the Daitya community. Daitya means demons. See, when I say Daityas or when I say Asuras, do not say that they are evil.
Yeah.
I'm only saying how they manifest and how they develop themselves is a different system. How they evolve.
Mm-hmm.
And for somebody, you might feel that they are Daityas, but they come from the lineage. If you say Daityas, they come from the lineage of the Bhargavas. Now, who is Bhargava? Bhargava is the clan or the lineage of sage Bhrigu Rishi himself.
This is why Venus is related to Bhrigu.
Bhrigu.
Yeah.
Okay. Bhrigu is related to Venus, and his clan are the people who follow his system, and they're called as Daityas. And that is why you see Guru Shukracharya is called as the preceptor of the Asuras, but it's the clan of Bhrigu. But do you say Bhrigu was bad? You do Bhrigu Jyotish, Bhrigu Nadi Jyotish. So great secrets are also there with this system. Okay? So, and Guru Shukracharya, remember, he was the grandson of Bhrigu. Again, the lineage of Bhrigu. Venus, Guru Shukracharya, is the grandson of Bhrigu. So from him comes Nadi Shastra. Vedic astrology finds a lot of relevance with the Bhargava clan. Right? So this is what I wanted to say. Another thing what you have to remember with this nakshatra is you have to understand what is Shiva. Is my internet connection stable?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. People have not understood what Shiva is. Okay? Now, if I remove one letter from Shiva, that is I, it becomes Shava. From Shiva, if I remove I means soul. It becomes Shava. What is Shava? Shava means corpse, a dead body. So Shiva is a Shava without Shakti. That is why the Shivling we worship. What is Shivling? It is Shiva Shakti.
And it comes out like an eye too.
Yeah. Yes. And the Shakti. Right? That is what Shiva is. So if you remove one letter, it becomes Shava. And that is why you see there is a mythology about Shiva, Markandeya Rishi, and Yama. Have you heard of that mythology?
No.
Okay. Let me quickly share my screen and show you that. Can you see that screen?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Markandeya Rishi, whenever he was very young, there was a prophecy which said this boy is going to die very quickly at a very young age in his adolescence, right? But Markandeya Rishi becomes a great devotee of Shiva. And when Yama, as per dharma, comes to take the life of Markandeya,
Yeah, I see this mythology. Yes.
and he goes and he just, hugs the Shivling. And Yama, he is Dharmaraj. He goes and he throws his noose. And unfortunately, the noose falls onto the Shivling. And there rises Shiva. Now, this is a depiction by Raja Ravi Varma, okay, of Markandeya, Shiva, and Yama. And it was Shiva who almost brought death to the Lord of Death himself, Yama.
Okay.
And that is why you see this association with Shiva and death, right? Is if you want to overcome death, is what our Shastras say is the most potent mantra is the Mahamrityunjaya mantra. So this story is trying to show you how Shiva protected Markandeya, who later on became a great rishi, and he has written Markandeya Purana as well, from the clutches of death. And today, he is also called, Shiva is also called as Mahakal. Mahakal means great time, who gave a great hard time to Kal himself. Kal means time, right? Yeah. And he is worshipped as Mahakaleshwar in Ujjain. Ujjain is one place which is called one of the 12 Jyotirlings. What is Jyotirling? Jyotir means radiance, and Lingam means the image or the sign of Shiva. So a Jyotirling is a radiant sign of the Almighty Shiva himself. There are 12 Jyotirlings, and one of them is Mahakaleshwar at Ujjain. So people with Bharani Nakshatra, very prominent, can go to this energy vortex and be able to get that energy of, or the blessings of Mahakaleshwar, or a different form of Shiva. Okay, so let's go to, Bharani Nakshatra. I've given you enough background. I take quite some time usually to go and give the background, give the mythology, give the significance behind. Because unless we do that, Kapil, I know many of you will straight away jump, but if you do not have this basis, this foundation, many of the things you do not understand.
Yeah.
You cannot go deep into the system. So this word Bharani comes from this root Sanskrit word called as Bri. Bri means to bear, to support, to nourish, to protect. And if you look at this word Bharani, it comes from the Shakti associated, the power which vests in this nakshatra, which is called as Apha Bharani Shakti. Apha Bharani means the power to take away and to move on. It is the power to cleanse or to remove impurities. Okay? So if you have prominent planets in Bharani, although it is connected with Yama, now you have to look at it from a very esoteric perspective. Now the esoteric perspective is Yama takes life away. But Yama, that is only the real meaning. Now look at it from an esoteric perspective. Apha Bharani means to take things away and to cleanse or to remove impurities. So if you have prominent planets in Bharani, and if you are a surgeon, if you happen to be a surgeon, then it is good because you are an excellent surgeon. Why? Because you are going to remove the tumor, which is unwanted. So you're removing the impurity, you're cleansing the body. Yeah. So surgeons become excellent surgeons. Mm-hmm. Right? Now, there is also a scientific reason that I want to give, when you study Bharani Nakshatra, is there is a system in which people usually take hot water bath, but if you're taking a shower in a colder country and you're taking it's a little bit cold, or even in India you take cold water shower. Some of the researches which was done by medical scientists, this found that a lot of people suffer from paralytic attacks whenever they're in the bathroom or whenever they're showering. Majority of them are found that it happens in the shower. Why is it? Because most of the system, what you do is you go and you turn on the shower, okay, and you just go under the shower. So what happens? The cold water falls on your head, right? Now, when the cold water falls on your head, the body temperature suddenly is coping up with the cold. Yes,
Yeah.
it has to take up to that. So because of that, you get this this paralytic attacks usually, right? It is not that I'm trying to say I'm a medical expert or anything. I've read about certain researches, and then that tells you why you should start if you're showering from a bucket of water. You should start, if it is cold water, then you start showering from your leg. So put a little bit of water on your leg and then start building up that water as you come up, so that then the head would have enough time to cope up with the body temperature. Okay, so it regularizes the temperature. So again, I'm trying to show you this connection with Bharani Nakshatra, because Bharani Nakshatra operates, as I said, in the head and the bottom of the feet. So a lot of your medical illnesses can be avoided by taking care of this, small hint or a tip. Okay, I'm nowhere a medical scientist, but I've just read this and I'm just sharing that with you. So in India, if you're taking cold water shower, never start by pouring the water on your head. Start it from pouring on your feet, and then. Okay. So Bharani Nakshatra, if you see, Bharani Nakshatra takes away all those things that have reached its term of life, and when a new condition has to arrive. So it shows that whatever activities which needs to be finished, why? Yama is called a binder. Okay, Yama is called Yama has the ability to bring to logical conclusions which have almost seen the end of its life. So esoterically, Bharani Nakshatra is excellent nakshatra for completion of all pending activities. Because Yama brings logical conclusion to life. But if there is no end of life, there is no birth, or there is no rebirth. But remember this, from an esoteric perspective again, no one dies and no one is born. Because soul never dies. It's only the body. It's a shava which dies.
Yep.
It's a shava, means it's a dead corpse. The body dies. It's a vehicle. Right? The soul keeps on moving. So Yama is all about self-control. It's about moral rules. Okay? It's about observing those duties, the social norms, the moral norms. Okay? It's about self-restraint. Why is that? There's a mythological story, let me tell you, about Yama and his twin sister, Yami. Okay? So, there are many Puranas that you can read about the same story, but there are certain differences that you see in the same story, and the interpretations are different. Okay? Now, the twin sister is called as Yami, and they were, so obviously in Bharani Nakshatra, you see this theme of twins. Similar to what you see in Ashwini Nakshatra, because Ashwini Kumars were the twins, you see that there is twins of a different opposite sex, usually happening in Bharani.
Okay.
So this is again something which is a theme that you can see. Now Yami was his twin sister, and she wanted to have children with Yama. Yeah. Okay. Now this is as per Rig Veda. This is as per Rig Veda.
Yeah.
The story is as per Rig Veda. But Yama resisted and refused, because he says we are siblings. How can we get married, and how can we have children together? Right? Now, Yama, as per Rig Veda, she tries to convince Yami tries to convince Yama by saying, okay, we were sleeping in the same home. We are sleeping next to each other. So what is wrong in sleeping with each other? Okay, for 9 months we have slept together. Right? So Yami was completely infatuated by Yama. But Yama showed resistance. Okay, she refused. That is self-restraint. That is that ability in this nakshatra to say no.
Yeah.
When there is something which is not morally right, ethically right, Bharani nakshatras are the first people who say, no, this is wrong. And it is believed that after Yama's death, Yami was so upset and depressed that she cried like a river of tears, and that river became Yamuna today. The river Yamuna,
Yeah.
is after Yami.
Okay.
And, yeah, and one of the remedies for Bharani Nakshatra is to go and chant, on the banks of Yamuna river and show oblations to Yami. This is a great remedy for people who want to go and for Bharani Nakshatra. Now, because of this, because she cried, she was depressed. The gods, it is considered in Rig Veda, the gods created the night in order to make her forget Yama. So there was only day before. The gods created the night for Yami.
Okay.
And Yama died childless and a brahmachari. So that is why, as per Hindu system, he has no hope to be reborn because he had no children. And Yama is considered to be the first mortal to enter the land of the dead.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And that is why he became the oldest forefather or the king or the lord of the ancestors, because he was the first mortal to die and to go to the world of the land of the dead.
So people shouldn't be afraid of that word Yama. Oh, Yamraj is coming.
No, no. Yeah, it is not usually Yamraj who comes. You say it is Yamadutas, the messengers of Yama who come.
Yama, okay.
Only when the soul is so exalted, okay, that is the only time when Yama himself comes to take the soul.
What do you mean when the soul is exalted?
Exalted as in when the soul is very evolved spiritually, enlightened souls. He doesn't send his messengers, Yamadutas. He himself comes with his nose. That is the iconography of Yama. He has a noose in his hand. He has a staff or a mace in his one hand. Okay, he rides on a buffalo and he comes, right? And that is why you see he has no rebirth. Why? Because he was childless and a brahmachari. He died. The Hindu system of belief is only when you have a children and they reproduce and they give you shrad or they give tarpanam, that is when you have the ability to take rebirth. That is the Hindu scheme of rebirth, right? Now, when you go to the other world, there is an accountant. It is Chitragupta who maintains a strict account of all your deeds and misdeeds.
Mm-hmm.
He's referred to the Lord of the Accountants. And Yama is the final status checker. Okay, it is Chitragupta who will come and say, sir, this soul who has just entered Yamaloka, he has done this. These are the good things. These are the bad things. This is the log. Yama looks at the log and he says, okay, now I know where to send you. So he provides the judgment. Yama gives the final judgment.
What I also know is that if you ask during the time period for moksha, he gives it to you. If you say, just liberate me, I don't want to be reborn.
Yes.
That's one time.
That is the time when if you are aware, and that is why you see when souls are dying, usually they say there is Ganga Jal which is put in their mouth. What is Ganga Jal? And what is the Shakti of this nakshatra? I said it is Apa Bharani. Apa means water. Bharani means to take away the impurities, take away all your sins and give you liberation, moksha.
So my wife is here to liberate.
I think you're already liberated.
Yeah, I know.
By the looks of it. You already attained salvation or eternal nirvana, as they say. So what you have seen, Kapil, is with this nakshatra, you find a lot of people who are interested in going into law, being judges. Okay, you find Bharani nakshatra can take very prominent positions, being the chief justice of the high courts, supreme courts of any country.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But now, from this mythology, what you have to understand is there are two themes, which is very important what people have to understand. First theme is incest. So people could have, if there are malefics influencing planets sitting here, or they could also be, it could not be in reality, but it could be just in the mind. It could be mind. Okay, it's perceived as that. And then secondly, Bharani Nakshatra people, if there are malefics, again, there could be, I'm saying may and could and all of this, because you have to look at other conditions. All paths in the chart should be leading into the same direction. So if you look at this, if you look at a couple of more other combinations which are giving you or hinting you towards an event, then that event will happen. Right? Okay. So issues with having children, because Yama had problems in didn't want to have children. So issues with having children could also be a problem with this. Now another mythology from again Vishnu Puran, Markandeya Puran, there are so many Purans, Kurma Puran, Bhagavata Puran, all of them talk about the similar sort of story, the story of Yama, who's cursed by his foster mother Chaya. Yama, okay, was born from his original mother Sanjana, and his mother left a shadow of her, which is called as Chaya, her younger sister, as they say, because she was unable to bear the rays of the sun god, her husband. Sanjana's husband was Surya, or the sun god. His rays were so radiant, and she felt that she had not enough spiritual energy in her to be able to bear his radiance. So she leaves her shadow behind, Chaya, her younger sister, and she comes to planet Earth, and she goes into penance so that she can build up her spiritual sadhanas, and she can go back to her husband. Now what happens is, Chaya in this time gives birth to 3 children, because Surya Bhagwan still thinks it is Sanjana, and through Chaya 3 children are born. One is there to be Shani, Saturn. Okay, then another one was Swarani Manu, and the third one is Tapti. Tapti becomes another river. There is a river called Tapti in India as well. Right? Now, because Yama was born from Sanjana, so Yama always felt that his foster mother Chaya was more favorable to her real children than to him. So he offends his foster mother Chaya in one instance by abusing her, and he picks up his legs to kick her. Right? Now Chaya curses Yama that his leg be infected or affected by worms and sores. Yama is shocked. He says, how can a mother ever curse her own child? Never. Under no circumstances a mother would curse his own child. And that is when Yama kind of finds out that it is not his real mother, and he goes and tells Surya. And Surya Bhagwan comes and confronts, and then they later on find out that Chaya is not his actual wife. And that is why Surya Bhagwan gives him the position of Dharmaraj, or righteousness, or what is right, because he found out this ploy. And what happens with Chaya is burnt in one of the Purans. Various Purans have various descriptions of what happened to Chaya next. But this incident, because of this incident, Yama was also called as Shirnapada. Shirnapada means shriveled foot. Now, what are the themes emerging from this mythology? The themes are problems with legs. You can see Bharani Nakshatra might have problems with legs. Okay. Second thing, they are fighters for justice and social and noble causes. Why? Because Yama showed that Chaya was not his real mother. So, fighting for justice and for social and noble causes becomes again another theme for Bharani Nakshatra. The third theme which comes here is problems with mother. Bharani natives might have a sense of problem with their mother. Sometimes it is very, very not literal, but sometimes you might be the real child of your mother, but sometimes you feel, Bharani natives, that you get a kind of a stepmotherly treatment. You say, my elder sibling, my sister or my brother, my mother loves my brother more than me, because I'm, for example, I'm Bharani. So I get a feeling. It might not be real, but it's just a feeling that you get a stepmotherly treatment. You feel that there is some unfairness towards you. Your mother, might be taking more attention, paying more attention to your younger sister or to your elder brother or somebody, and you feel that you are neglected. It's only a feeling. It may not be real. It's perceived. Okay, so these are the three themes that you see come out of this nakshatra. Now there is another mythology which is very popular, and when you talk about Bharani, we have to talk about that. Is Yama and Karna. Karna is the supreme warrior from Mahabharata.
He was the step brother of Arjun, right?
Yeah, correct. Okay. Now Karna, after his time on planet Earth, he goes to the heavens. And when he goes to the heavens, he is being served food. Okay, he goes to the heavens because he was a great warrior, and he was a great Danavir Shura Karna. That is what it's called. Danavir means he used to be extremely charitable. If you can read about Karna and his charities, you will be shocked. There could be anybody who is born as a mortal who could be so, philanthropist and such a charitable person. So when Karna goes to the heavens, he finds that his food is being served, but in his food, it is only, he finds jewels, diamonds, pearls, precious stones, and gold, silver, all of that has been given to him. And Karna is like astonished. He says, I have done so much when I was on planet Earth, but is this something that I can eat? Can I eat gold? Can I eat jewels? Can I eat diamonds? So he goes to Yama and he says, Yama, what is this? I'm being fed. I've done so many virtuous deeds when I'm there, and you're feeding me gold. He says, Yama says, when you are on planet Earth, you only donated gold, jewels, and all of this, but you never donated food to your ancestors. Okay? Karna says, but I didn't know who my ancestors was. I was an illegitimate child.
Yeah.
Nobody knew who I was, and how do I know who my ancestors were? So that's why I didn't donate food in remembrance of my forefathers. So Yama says, then what to do? I cannot feed you food because you have not donated food. So Karna pleads with Yama, says, give me 15 days. I would like to go to planet Earth and correct this thing. And Yama says, okay, because you are a good soul, I give you 15 days. And those 15 days are called as Pitru Paksha. Okay, this 15 days that just passed away before your Navratra, the 15 days before Navratra is called as Pitru Paksha. So Karna comes here and he gives a lot of food for Brahmins in remembrance of his ancestors. Lot of food he donates to Brahmins, to poor people, to orphans. He feeds them 15 days, and then he goes back to the heavens, which is and then he finds that his food, he gets served, sumptuous food on his plate. So this is again what it shows is Bharani Nakshatra people should never forget to remember their pitris and also donate food as much as possible. So that even, if you have your moon there, it's also food for your thought. So positive food for your brain, positive thoughts, that is also going to enrich you for the Bharani native. Negative thoughts should always be kept away because that is not good food that you're feeding your mind.
Yeah.
Right? So all of these themes, what I've seen with Bharani Nakshatra. Now, some of the other very interesting themes, what I've seen here is, if you remember Bharani, Saturn gets debilitated at 20 degrees in Aries in Bharani Nakshatra. Okay, so Saturn goes into deep debilitation. Now, Saturn is the planet of discipline. Okay, and Saturn is Shani, and as per the mythology I told you, Yama finds out about Chaya, and Chaya is punished by Surya. Okay, but Shani is the son of Chaya, and Shani is offended that his mother was given that treatment which she didn't deserve.
Yeah.
And that is why Shani doesn't get along well with Yama, his elder brother. Okay, but if you look at the Shani mantra, his elder brother is always been referred to. Okay, Shani Mahamantra is Nilanjana Samhabhasham Ravi Putram Yamagrajam Chaya Marthanda Sambhutam Tam Namami Shanishcharam. Nilanjana Samabhasham, which means I bow down to Lord Shani Dev, who shines bright like a blue mountain. Nilanjana means blue. Okay. Ravi Putram. Ravi Putram means he is the son of Lord Surya, sun god. Yamagrajam, which means he is the brother of Yama, the god of death. Chaya Marthanda. Chaya means his mother, Shani's mother, Chaya. I said the shadow of Sanjana. Marthanda means another name of sun god. Sambhutam tam namami Shanishcharam. So that is why you see in Yama's nakshatra, Shani gets debilitated.
That's right. Very true.
Okay, because Shani is the planet for discipline, hard work, karma. Okay, and the debilitation would mean that there are struggles for such natives in fructifying some of their karmas in Bharani Nakshatra. So a debilitated Saturn, along with the fierce nature of Bharani. See, Bharani, if you understand the disposition, the nature of Bharani is said to be Ugra, ruthless, fierce, severe. That is the interpretation of Bharani. That is the nature of Bharani. So there would be too much of restraint in Bharani for the Saturn to activate his karmas. Saturn says, I have to activate whatever karmas I have. But I am debilitated. I feel weak. I cannot, because I see the restraint of Yama. Right? So you see that dependency, those influences that you see on this nakshatra, because Shani is debilitated. Shani is karmakarak. Now, another very important theme that I see.
How does Shani behaves in Bharani Nakshatra? According to you?
He kind of behaves like he's frustrated because he is unable to do his duties, and debilitation of Shani gives him, it comes out as a perversion in this person. Shani can make him a pervert because he feels restricted. And it's a fierce nature. So that is why you see that, Shani feels very, very uncomfortable.
Okay.
Except there is a condition where Shani could be in, there is a Pushkara Navamsha Pada, which is, the third pada. Third pada of Bharani could give some respite because that is the Pushkara Navamsha Pada of Bharani. All Venus-ruled nakshatras, the third pada of all Venus-ruled nakshatras become the Pushkara Navamsha Pada.
Wow, that's funny. My wife actually has the third pada.
Yeah, so that is a good sign to be in. It's a Pushkara Navamsha. It energizes, it enriches the activities of the planet which is sitting there.
Okay.
Now, the animal which is associated with Bharani Nakshatra is an elephant. Now, elephant is the biggest land animal that you can think of. And have you ever seen an elephant walk on the road? Okay, I don't think you could find it in Western countries, but in India, when elephants have to be transported, they used to walk the elephants. And whenever you find an elephant walking, it will never walk on the side of the road. It will always walk in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
And the elephants always, you look in the game of chess, the rook or the elephant always walks straight.
Right, yeah.
Okay, so what I've always seen with Bharani Nakshatra, because Bharani Nakshatra rules the roads, the streets. So whenever you have an elephant,
controlled by the sign of Libra. And
I'll tell you why this connection comes is because of Yama was the first mortal to find the path to the dead. So the pathway,
Okay, pathway. Okay.
the pathway of Yama, okay, the destination of Yama was the land of the dead. And he had to find his way through because he was lost. There was nobody to guide him. Today, when if suppose we die, we have our ancestors who come and take us on the path
Yeah.
because they have already tread those paths. So, you know, people who have near death experiences, they're always, you know, these are instances, you can go and read about them, you know, by medical scientists or, doctors who have recorded, you know, how people feel when they have almost died and they have been revived.
Yeah.
And instances kind of match very much. What is life after death? And most of them see their near and dear ones who are departed, coming them and inviting them, and they say the world looks so beautiful. You know,
Yeah.
and people say it's a bright ray of light. You know, there are different descriptions, but most of them are very, very common. It's, you know, people seeing their departed, grandmothers, the grandfathers, seeing a bright ray of light where they feel so comforted that they never wanted to come back. And those people who are revived from near-death experiences, they curse the people who have revived them, and they say, "Why did you bring me back?"
Yeah, I've heard that too. Yeah, I wish they never brought me back.
Yeah, I wish I was never brought back, because they say I was so much in a cocoon of light and I felt so much of peace and, you know, everything. So all that thing that we knew about death, you know, might be different. Nobody has seen the other world to come and see, but these instances, people say, you know, the world after life is also going to be beautiful.
Yeah.
No matter, you know, what it is. Anyway, so coming back to travel and Bharani, what I've seen is Bharani Nakshatra, when moon is transiting Bharani Nakshatra, you would see a lot of traffic jams and accidents. Because the elephant likes to hog, and usually you see the traffic jams are because of a big enough vehicle, you know, and an elephant-sized vehicle. It could be a
seems like we're transiting a Bharani Nakshatra every day here in DC.
Yeah. So those energies, it's like used as strollers, you know, which block the road. So it is like an elephant which is walking on the streets.
Okay.
Okay. So what you need to develop for Bharani Nakshatra people is, because you have these, getting into these traffic jams could be a very common theme for you. You need to develop patience, right? And that is why you need to, this is very, very important. And this is, again, people, whenever you go through Bharani Nakshatra and you're stuck in a traffic jam, just remember, Bharani Nakshatra. Yeah, remember Yama, so that no death will befall you when you're on the road. Yeah, no, but I'm saying chant the mantras of the Bij mantra of Bharani. Okay, I can't remember the Bij mantra, but I did this thing with my course participants, and some of them gave me some fantastic feedback. Is whenever they say I regularly come into traffic jams, it is not that the traffic jam is going, but at least the vehicles will start moving as per their observation. So things start clearing up when you start chanting the Bij mantra of Bharani.
What is that?
I have to, maybe let me look up. I've just, Bharani Nakshatra.
Man, I need that for sure in DC. That's
when
why
you go to get your drive.
You go to DC like 5 miles from here.
Yeah.
Traffic on weekdays to start building up, because it's not just people going to work, it's majority of tourists. DC, it's all history, right? Like White House, the Congress, the Washington Monument, museums. I mean, it's more of a tourist traffic than just like a people going in the, even on weekends, it is busy because people are coming all over country to DC to visit and to see things. Oh my God, I never drive there. I either take a train, subway, or just take an Uber or taxi. I just hate driving. Parking is no longer in DC. It's like, if you park, it's crazy expensive.
Okay, here is it. Try this out.
Yeah.
This is the root Bij mantra, which is the seed mantra. Om Aim.
Om Aim.
Om Aim. Om Aim. This is the Bij mantra for Bharani Nakshatra. Keep chanting this as you get through, and when you get frustrated in life, because things are not moving.
Within your mind only.
Better if you can do it in the mind.
Okay.
Okay, you can start chanting the mantra Om Aim, Om Aim, Om Aim 108 times.
Okay.
Right? It's very easy. It's not difficult. That's it. That's beach, because that is a seed. And you start implanting that. And also, this nakshatra, because it is a ugra, fierce type, and I said it is connected with Shakti. The Shakti of this nakshatra, or the other deity which is connected with this nakshatra, is Kali, Mahakali, the fierce form of Parvati, of Durga.
Oh my God.
Kali
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
My wife has, it's not like she got into a Hindu religion when she met me or anything, okay?
Yeah.
Nothing like that. She said for some reason, and she bought a big murti of Durga in home. And she said, you know what? I don't know why. Ever since I was young and I came across the Hindu culture and religion, I've always been attracted to Durga. And this is why we're actually going back again to Sedona for some Durga.
Fantastic.
She wants to attend something with Durga.
Wow.
That is so crazy. You just said that.
Yeah.
The Durga thing, it is. I am the actual proof where she got out of nowhere. She went to the Indian market in Virginia and she's like, I saw it and I had to get it. She's like, I'm just attracted to Durga. I don't know.
So people, you can find that, Durga is, see, I've also shown in some of my videos that if you look at it, Bharani Nakshatra, okay? And diagonally opposite to it is Swati Nakshatra.
Oh, yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
Yes, Swati Nakshatra. Diagonally opposite in the zodiac, if you look at it, Bharani Nakshatra zodiac, diagonally opposite is Swati Nakshatra. Now, the animal symbol of Swati Nakshatra is the buffalo. Okay, and Durga is the slayer of, she's called as Mahishasura Mardini. Mahisha means the buffalo demon. She was the slayer of the buffalo demon.
Okay.
Okay, so what you see is this influence of Mahishasura Mardini. Mahishasura Mardini is another name for Durga. That is her most fiercest form of Durga. I've done some videos on this Navratri, on the Navadurgas. And that is how, when I did these videos, I actually came to know more about Durga and her energies, her Shakti. That's very, very powerful during this period of Navaratri. See, actually, in the year, there are 5 Navaratras, 5 different months of Navaratris. But our Navaratri, which is Sharad Navaratri, which is celebrated, we just went past, from the 1st of October to the 10th of October. That is supposed to be the most potent form of Durga's energies. She's exalted. She's very, very powerful. So that is why you see that connection with Durga, with this nakshatra, Bharani.
Okay.
So another thing that I've also seen with this nakshatra, I'll take a couple of charts after this, and then we end up, wrap up the session.
Okay.
Is this nakshatra, the temperament of this nakshatra is Manushya Gana, which means human temperament. Okay, and the Purushartha or the Chaturvarna means the primary motivation.
Mm-hmm.
The primary motivation is Artha of this. So, worldly possession, prosperity, all of this, human temperament and prosperity. This is a very great nakshatra. Another nakshatra which has similar sort of tendencies is Puro Bhadrapada. Okay, which has Manushya Gana, human temperament, and Artha Purushartha, which is, primary motivation is Artha. Artha means possessions, right? So these 2 nakshatras can give you enormous wealth, great possessions in life. Right?
My wife, I ain't letting her go.
So, if you look at this nakshatra, as I said, this is elephant.
Yeah.
Puro Bhadrapada. When there are prominent planets sitting in these 2 nakshatras, I have seen that is equivalent to calling it Gajakeshari Yoga, because the animal symbol associated with Puro Bhadrapada is a lion, and the animal symbol associated with Bharani nakshatra is an elephant. Gaja Keshari. Gaja means elephant. Kesari means lion. So
Yeah.
prominent planets in this zone, extremely wealthy people. There are some extremely wealth-giving nakshatras, like I see Punarvasu, Uttara Bhadrapada, Purva Bhadrapada, Rohini, okay, Chitra. All these give enormous, even the Falgunis, Uttara Falguni, Purva Falguni, give enormous wealth through inheritance, through bequests, through gifts.
Wow.
Okay, especially you see it in Bharani also. Why? Because it is associated with Yama, and Yama is the king of the ancestors. So you can get inheritances. You can get huge bounties from family or friends, or some old aunt might donate her property. There are themes such you can see that. Okay, so let's go to. Do you want to take a couple of charts now?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Let's go and do some couple of charts before we can call it a day. Share screen. Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yeah.
Okay, this is the chart of Edgar Cayce. Interaction, the theme is interaction with the land of the dead. Now, Edgar Cayce is an American mystic. He has his moon in Bharani, third pada. And I said Bharani third pada is also the Pushkara Navamsha pada. Right? Now, Edgar is an American mystic who is greatly known for his healing. He also knew about reincarnation. He always spoke with the land of the dead, and he gave, a lot of what do you call those? Like prenominations. Okay, so he is also called. He was nicknamed the Sleeping Prophet. Right? He has his own hospital, and Cayce had a great ability for consulting the Akashic records. Akashic records is where all your records for multiple lifetimes are being kept.
Yeah.
So whenever he had somebody approaching him for a consultation, he used to go to these etheric imprints of soul, and he used to tell the soul's experiences. Okay? It has been believed that he has approximately done about 30,000 life readings and medical diagnosis for people during his lifetime. Okay, look at his moon also is his Lagna Lord, is sitting in Bharani Nakshatra in the 10th house of his karmas. Wow. So you see that these people might have some connection, or they could see that this theme coming where they want to speak, they're psychics, trance channels, very strongly connected with Bharani Nakshatra and with Magha Nakshatra. Trance channels, psychics.
Did I ever tell you about how my wife had a very strong alien experience, and she also had a Kundalini?
No, you never told me this.
Yeah, and that's how we actually got interested with each other, because I'm in aliens UFO, she was in aliens, and she almost had these experiences, including like psychic experiences. She has had conversations with Palladians.
Oh, fantastic.
Many people won't believe all that. I mean, I'm like, that's fine. She has had actual talking with Palladians.
See, this is something that I've never spoken about, but what you have to understand with nakshatras is, once you start understanding nakshatras, what are nakshatras? These are pathways or channels, okay, for communication with 27 civilizations. You have 27 civilizations, imagine. It is not an imagine, it is actually the fact. And basically, the planets, whenever they're transiting through these fixed stars or these nakshatras, whenever they come in, they are just channeling those energies, those messages are coming through those planets. They are hitting you. It is only that you have to know to unravel or unwrap those messages.
So this is why study of nakshatra is very important for everybody, I feel.
Absolutely essential. And just before we went live here, I think we discussed this. You know, I've gone through all the systems. I was a vagabond, I would call myself. You know, I've been to KP, which I couldn't understand. Then I went into Parashar. Then I've been into Bhrigu. I've been into Nadi. I've been into Lal Kitab, doing various things. I was like a rudderless boat, just sailing in the sea, right? Until I found out nakshatras. And once I came and lashed myself onto nakshatras, that is when I could feel the energies, the shakti of these civilizations, these 27 civilizations, the pathway, okay, there is a communication. It is not like somebody is coming and talking to you. It is just like you get these ideas when you're sleeping, you're waking, you're walking, you're talking. You just try to connect everything what you see. And that is what I say, awareness. Self-awareness is the greatest way to connect with everything in life. I had done a post on my Facebook page. I said, 50% of your problems in life can be solved by knowing your lagna very well in depth. Because lagna is the reason why you are born. Lagna, when I say lagna, could be your moon lagna, your ascendant lagna, or your sun lagna, whichever is stronger. That is what Parashar Rishi has said. He said, whichever among these three are stronger, you take that as the lagna. Between ascendant, between your moon, and between your sun. So whenever you know you're understanding your lagna, absolutely going to the depth of it, you understand yourself. 50% of your problem is solved. Other 50% of your problems are solved by self-awareness, free will, and self-effort. Nobody, no astrologer, no tantric, nobody can give you. You should be chanting your mantras. How can somebody sitting, 500 miles away and chanting mantras or doing homas for you? Homas or yagnas have to be performed when you are present there, because that is the energies you're drawing from those yagnas.
If you're hungry, nobody else can eat the food for you.
Yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
So
forget. Yeah, you see, there is a technology. I'm not saying there is no technology of the priest, but there is also a technology where you have to hand over. Okay, there is the hand over. It is like there is also a pavitra. Have you heard of the pavitra?
I've known pavitra like pure.
Yeah, pure. There is a pavitra, means it is made from kusha grass. It's a ring made from kusha grass. So what happens is, the priest, before he performs the puja or the havan or the home or the fire ritual for you, you are giving him the authority to perform the yagna on your behalf. And he gives you the pavitra. Pavitra is a kusha grass ring that you put. And through that kusha grass ring you are giving him the authority to perform. So it is as if he is performing or you are performing that yagna. There is sankalpa which is done, and you are sitting there behind him while you give him the authority.
Yeah.
With the pavitra. And when you are finished with the yagna, you remove the pavitra and you pour water on it.
Wow.
So when you are the yajaman, that is the terminology which is used in Vedic fire rituals. Yajaman means you are the authority, and the priest is the hotar. You are giving him the right to perform on your behalf. So going on to internet, ordering a yajna, ordering a remedy, how is it going to work? Somebody else is doing it, whether he is doing it with full faith. Yes, these remedies will work when the person who is doing it with no greed, no envy, no money-mindedness is there, and they are very pure. Yes, they can transfer the energy. But today, do you believe those priests who are sitting 5,000 miles away or even 200 miles away? Can you trust that these people are doing it for you? So what is better? You do it yourself.
Yeah.
So self-effort, hard work, self-awareness is the only way you can come over all the problems in your life. And free will. Nobody can dictate what you can be. You make your own destiny. This is what I want to say repeatedly. I do Jyotish, yes, but that is to find the greater meaning of life, understanding the system, the science of how these planets are behaving. But if you want, you can have no planets impact you. You make your moon very strong, your mind very strong. No planets can influence you. Your moon is very strong. How can you make your moon very strong? Good thoughts, dharmic thoughts, pure thoughts. Good thoughts not only for you, for other people also. Never get negative thoughts. Your moon is strengthened. Think good for other people. You know, when I used to speak with A.V. Sundaram, he used to say, you know, if you want to be an astrologer, the best thing to do is only say good things whenever you have people coming to you. Why he says is, you know, things you say, you know, if 50% of them happen, you become a great astrologer.
Yeah.
Okay. If you start giving negative predictions, people come and they say, oh man, don't go to this astrologer. He predicted this and that happened to me.
Exactly.
So you are creating a negative aura. Whenever the person is going to come in, you have to show the positive aura. You know, 50% of the problems are solved when you just sit in front of your doctor.
Yeah.
50% of your ailments are resolved. You say, I go with a stomach ache, but I sit in front of I say, I feel now better. You know, even before I've been given the medication. Similarly, when you go to a Jyotish, you know, his presence itself should solve 50% of your problems. That is the aura that you have to create. But how many astrologers can you find today? And that is why there are many astrologers, I know.
That's something I'm proud of. I never give negative prediction regard. I see at least 50 negative things in a chart when I look at it.
Yeah.
I never mention even one.
See, the thing is, there are various schools of thoughts. There are some schools of thought is, what good are you doing by not telling them the negative points?
Yeah.
Yes, you have to remember, there is a way of telling it. You know, how do you sugarcoat it? And so that you're not going to psychologically impact him.
No, it's like this, like you were saying about the, Bharani and having trouble with children. So let's say if I was doing some nakshatra reading for the moon and I'm like, you have this nakshatra, this is looking, there could be problems with the children. Now, let's say if I'm doing this for a lady who's 45 years old, 50, I can say that to her. Because if she has to, she has to. If she doesn't, she knows doesn't want to have any more because it's just too late. But if I'm doing the same reading for somebody who's 20, 24, I will never say that to them. Even if I see some angle of problem in this nakshatra, they have this problem, I'm like, I won't even mention that particular.
Exactly. And look at it from a holistic viewpoint. Just don't go to nakshatras and say this is what is going to happen. You look at it from different systems. Look at it from Gemini, look at it from Prasha, look at it from Dasha, look at it from transits, look at it. So all these systems should add up and give you the same indication. That is when you predict that, okay, this event is going to happen. Okay. Anyway, so let's go to the next chart. Power of insight, cognitive abilities, and deep connections is what I've seen with this nakshatra. So these people could be great in psychoanalysis, and kind of understanding or unlocking the unconscious mind or reading people's minds. Right? These people have those abilities. Now, this is Freud, an Austrian psychiatrist, the father of psychoanalysis. He has treated people with hypnosis, and you see that So what you see is his son is his Atma Karaka also in this chart, and it is sitting in the fourth pada in Bharani Nakshatra. So you see it is sitting in the seventh house. So he was great in consultation. Seventh house is the person who's going to come to you.
Yeah.
The opposite person who's sitting in front of you. So if you have to be a great psychoanalyst, you have to be a great counselor, then Bharani Nakshatra could be a great symbol to be. Why? Because Yama always talks about social norms, moral justice, and all of that. Giving them a pathway, the Pitrayana, pathway of the ancestors. This is what our ancestors did, and this is what is going to bear the fruits. Right? Yeah. So this is what deep cognitive abilities and great insight, great ways or great intuitions. This is again another theme I've seen with this Bharani Nakshatra people. Okay. Now this is the final theme which I want to say, but this is again, there is kind of in a broader sense, okay, again, you have to look at the chart in totality. There is some sort of confinement. There's some sort of struggle in life. That is because if you let go of your rigid mindset, it is like Yama. He says, no, this is right and this is righteous. I will not restrain, self-restrain. Yeah. Right? That is the ability, and that can sometimes lead to inner struggle or suffering because you are expecting the other people to behave in a certain manner, and when they are not following the rule book, the moral, ethical ways, you get frustrated, you get irritated, because you are looking to reform the world. You are looking for ways how you can make this world a better place to live. You want them to follow the social justice, the social norms, the traffic rules on the system. But the Bharani native, wants to be a traffic light, a policeman who's trying to guide the traffic in the right direction so that there is no congestion. But when you see that the world around you is not as per you, then you go into depression, or you go into some sort of alienation. Now, this is another psychologist, very famous psychologist, from Germany. If you look at it, he has his moon there. Okay, Jung. He has his moon. Now, moon also signifies mother. Now, this is what Wikipedia says about it. An eccentric and depressed woman, okay, Emily, spent much of her time in her separate bedroom, enthralled by spirits that she said visited her at night. Again, you see the connection with spirits I talked about, but these were haunting her. These were nightmares that she was going through. And Jung has a better relationship with his father, and he thought his father was much more predictable than his mother, and he felt that his mother was very problematic. At night, his mother became strange and mysterious. He claimed that he saw faintly luminous and indefinite figures coming from her room. These are spooky, these are very scary, but this is not me who's saying, this is Wikipedia. Okay. This is what, Jung described the situation. His mother was hospitalized for many months for an unknown physical ailment. Right? So this is again another theme that you can see, that if you become very confined, you become very restrictive, and then you are kind of suffering. You are into confinement. You can start speaking with spirits, but speaking with spirits shouldn't take you into depression. There are good spirits, there are bad spirits. The bad spirits can influence you a lot. Good spirits are angels who can help you. Yeah. So your ancestors are the good spirits. Not all of them, unless they have found peace within themselves when they died. They would always come to help you out. So with that, Kapiel, I think we can. If there is questions, I could take those questions. But this is broadly about Bharani. I think I've taken quite.
No, this is great information. This is absolutely great information. Also, if let's say you wanted to, if let's say somebody has children with this nakshatra, or have, father, mother with this nakshatra, how can they help them?
See, I'll tell you one thing. Now, you have to remember, one of the symbologies, I've not talked about the pratima, the symbology of this nakshatra is the yoni, the vulva, the female reproductive organ, or the another symbol associated with Bharani is the womb. Yeah. Okay. So what you have to remember is this nakshatra is very strongly connected with procreation also because of this association. Mm-hmm. Right? But look at the pain of giving birth to a child, the labor pains when the woman goes through the childbirth. That is similar to what is Bharani about. When you're bringing new life, it is painful. Yeah. It's a painful process, but there is bliss and happiness after that. The smile on a mother's face when the child is born is blissful. Yeah. It has to be captured, and it has to be preserved, because that pleasure is very different. So this is what Bharani is about. If you go through those pains in your life, the struggles in your life, but once you have accomplished the birth is procreation. That is why you see people with Bharani Nakshatra can come up with great conceptual ideas. They can give birth to great ideas. They could be great thinkers, and they are great finishers. They are not great starters. Remember that. Bharani is never a great starter. Bharani is a great finisher. And Bharani binds things. So you can find people who are into any activities which will bind things together, bringing family together, a family reunion. Yeah, Bharani.
It's funny how Ashwani starts things, never finishes it. Bharani.
Yeah, Bharani, exactly. Ashwini is in a hurry.
Yeah.
A hurry to start things, but it loses steam as it goes along. But Bharani is the finisher. Yama finishes your life. So he brings a logical conclusion to all activities. So Bharani Nakshatra energy is extremely good whenever you want to finish those books that you wanted to write, and you're writing a book and you want to finish it, and you said I have not been written anything. Then take Bharani Nakshatra. Try to finish as many activities. Cleansing. Now Bharani Nakshatra is connected with a ritual called as Beltane fire. When I was in United Kingdom, they used to be a fire ritual in Edinburgh. Okay, they called it Beltane fire. Now, what was the ritual was on Bharani Nakshatra, whenever the Bharani Nakshatra was operating, and that is what it's called as May Day. May Day is celebrated everywhere in the world as Labor Day.
Yeah.
1st of May.
Yeah.
Across the world, it's called Labor Day. That is the day when the sun is transiting into Bharani Nakshatra, or has already transited into Bharani Nakshatra. That is the Labor Day, which means it is a day to go and cleanse your house, cleanse your bad things, take away
Spring
things.
cleaning.
Yes, spring cleaning.
Yeah.
Right? So when Bharani Nakshatra is operating, it's a good day to go and do a spring cleaning of your house. Get rid of things which are not required. I tell people, if you have 10 footwear at home, there might be only 2 or 3 footwear you keep wearing. The rest of them you do not wear. It's better to get rid of it, because the clutter in the house stagnates the yin yang. The chi which flows, it doesn't flow. So all things which have come to a logical conclusion, either give it away or throw them out. And Bharani Nakshatra is about throwing those clutter from the house. It's getting rid of things which are not wanted.
Absolutely.
Go to your wardrobe and see, there might be clothes which are lying down at the end. You might have not worn it for the last 6 months. My uncle always used to say, things that you have not used for the 6 months period, it's very unlikely that you will ever use ever in your life.
Very true. Yep.
Think of it. And with the change in your dashas, also you see your change in liking for colors. Your dasha changes, your antardasha changes, your liking for certain clothes become much more prominent. And what was your favorite cloth maybe 2 years back? Today you don't even wear it.
Yeah.
And they're lying there. So it's better to give it away to somebody or to get rid of them. Donate,
yeah.
Donate them.
Absolutely.
To a Salvation Army, or to whatever you have, where you go and donate things.
Exactly.
You want to donate. So Bharani Nakshatra is absolutely a very good day for getting rid, and it's also a good day for kicking butt. If you're a smoker, you want to give up smoking. Give up smoking on a Bharani Nakshatra day. You want to give up, anything, any bad habits you want to give up, because that is putting a logical conclusion, logical end to the bad habits. Death to cigarette smoking, death to alcohol, death to red meat.
Do something new on this day. You should do something which you're trying to end.
Exactly. Do not commence something, because then you won't finish it. It's better to finish. And that is why I said the South Indian priests never took Bharani and Kritika as 2 nakshatras to start something which is auspicious.
But Kritika is the birth, though.
Kritika is the birth, but those energies, you look at Kritika, it cuts.
Yeah.
It's a knife. Okay, so whatever you deserve or whatever you need to get, there is a slice of it you get.
So besides Abhijit, which are the other nakshatra great for stars?
Pushya is, except for marriages, Pushya is supposed to be the universally beautiful star. You can do whatever you want on Pushya, except marriages.
Okay.
The exception of marriage, all activities, Pushya is very good.
Perfect.
Right? And Uttarashada, it has the blessings of Lord Ganesh.
Oh yeah.
Uttarashada is a great nakshatra. Revati is a great nakshatra, very mridu nakshatra. Today is Revati. So great day to, because it's mild, the energies are mild. Chitra, all mild. You know, Shipra nakshatras are always very, very, very good. Shipra, which are Shipra nakshatras? Ashwini, Shipra nakshatra. Lagu and Shipra. Shipra means quick, fast. So what are activities you start will quickly achieve its objective on Ashwini. Next, Pushya, it's again a Shipra and a Lagu nakshatra. Third, Hasta nakshatra is again a Shipra and a Lagu nakshatra. Lagu means light. So all those things, activities which are light you wanted to do, you might have 10 list of 10 things, but if you can tick off at least 6 of those things that you can quickly do on a Shipra nakshatra, that is fantastic. There might be 4 things still pending because those are heavy duty things, but whatever is light, you always wanted to go and buy something, you know, and you have been keeping it, and you said, and your list is, oh, I just have to go to the supermarket and buy these 4 items and I can tick them off. Shipra nakshatra. So Hasta, Abhijit. So 4 nakshatras. Ashwini, Pushya, Hasta and Abhijit. These are 4 nakshatras which are called as Shipra and Lagu. So it's great to start things, even administering medicines, because you want to heal yourself very quickly. So Ashwini nakshatra is the best. If you want to commence treatment, Ashwini nakshatra.
And you know how many people want to do things on a full moon day, no moon day, birth their children on the full moon day, which is one of the worst things to do also.
Yeah.
Like on a full moon day, you shouldn't be having any C-sections and
surgeries.
Yeah.
See, it's very logical. It's nothing to do with superstition. You look at the moon. Whenever the moon is full moon, you go to a mental ward or a department, an asylum, mental asylum. You see people go berserk.
Yeah.
And that is why they are called as lunatics.
Lunatics, yeah.
Lunatics. Luna is moon. Okay, they go insane on. So usually you go to a mental asylum and ask the doctors that there are extra nurses or caregivers who are appointed on full moon days.
Wow. So
if you have 10 people or caregivers in a mental asylum, on full moon days there would be 12 of them. Just because people are not able to control their mind. And the same thing with, so these are 2 energies that you have to understand, full moon. And because the moon has so much of influence, look at the high tide. What is high tide? The water rises.
Yeah.
70% of the world is made of water. And if the moon can have so much of influence, what is our body? It's 70% of blood, isn't it?
Exactly.
So we have those influence of
bleed a lot.
Yes, you can bleed a lot. Full moon. Exactly. That is the only reason they say do not do C-sections or operations or surgeries when it is a full moon. Today is a full moon.
Yeah.
I don't know how many of us are being going crazy. For example, I must be going crazy, doing this and talking, crazy things. So that is insanity.
How's my wife doing today? On those days, I'm very careful.
I know. That's why I think you chose, today a full moon for an interview, so you can excuse yourself for a couple of hours and say, "Oh, I'm doing an interview with
Arjun." Man, thank you so much, Dr. Pai, for coming. And
it's a pleasure.
We'll continue our journey with the next nakshatra soon.
Definitely. Okay. Bye. Thank you.